My first tip to actually get better at playing the guitar fast is to make sure that you warm up your strums. So let me show you how you can warm up your strums effectively. The best way to warm up before playing the guitar is by making sure that you warm up both your wrist and your hand. Let's start with the wrist. So you move it in small circles like this, both clockwise and counterclockwise to loosen up the joint. This helps prevent strain during more intense strumming and for long practice sessions. Then try opening and closing your fingers slowly like this to stretch your hand. My second tip to add groove to your playing is to accentuate certain strums. To accentuate a strum basically means to play it louder, so to emphasize it, and this is a great way to add dynamics to your strumming patterns. The main essence of this technique is to really make certain strums stand out, creating interest and variety in your playing. Let me show you how you can do this. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to start by playing a basic strumming pattern. We're going to make this very basic. We're going to strum by playing 4 downstrokes like this in a 4/4 measure, so just like we did in the previous example. Then we're going to speed it up. The next step is to choose which strums you want to accentuate. So instead of this, all with the same pressure, we're going to accentuate the first and the third one. That. Focus on hitting the strings more forcefully on the accented beats, but not too hard. In order to avoid adding too much force on the accentuated strums, try to make the strums that you're not accentuating a little bit softer than normal. So let's try it with A minor and C. My third tip to get better at playing the guitar is to use a metronome. A metronome is an invaluable tool for guitarists who are looking to develop their timing, rhythm, and overall musicality. And a metronome also really helps you to build your speed in a more controlled way. And I got some good news for you, because did you know that if you search up a metronome on Google, you will get a digital free ready-to-use metronome? Start off slow, and once you got the hang of it, then increase the tempo by 5 or 10 BPM. The fourth way to get better at playing the guitar instantly is by incorporating a roll strum. And it goes like this. This guitar technique creates a textured, almost flamenco-like effect. So let me show you how to perform the roll strum. So for this roll strum, we're not going to be strumming with our index finger and thumb alone. We will now use our fingers separately. You start with your ring finger, then your middle finger, and then your index finger. You end up with your hands spread out like this, but not too far from the strings, because you need to strum straight after. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. Please make sure that your nail beds are not hitting the strings, because if that happens, it means that your wrist is too much inverted. So make sure to adjust your wrist accordingly. The fifth way that you can get better at playing the guitar is by incorporating fingerpicking in your playing. The best way to start fingerpicking on the guitar is to assign your finger to certain strings. The thumb is going to be in charge of the top 3 strings, so the E, A, and D string. And then your index finger, middle finger, and ring finger are going to be assigned to the D, B, and E string, like that. So let me show you how to play a cool finger picking pattern on the guitar. So the picking pattern goes like this: E, G, B, E, B, D. So now without me talking. Try accentuating the higher E string as well to add a little bit more dynamic in this pattern. So it goes E, G, B, E, B, D. And then you're gonna play A, G, B, E, B, D. And then you're gonna play D, G, B, E, B, D. So now without me talking. Like that. So once you're a little bit more comfortable with this guitar finger picking pattern, you can apply it to some chords that you know. So for this example, I'm going to use A minor and C major. So we're going to do A, G, B, E, B, D for this one. So it's going to be back to C, A minor, like like that. Tip number 6 to become better at playing the guitar is to incorporate percussion in your playing. And this is where your guitar starts to turn into a drum. You can add some rhythmic depth by tapping certain parts of the guitar case while you play your guitar. Okay, so put your middle finger on the bottom part of your strings to add the percussive effect to your strumming. So not with your index, but with your middle, because if I would strum with my index finger and also tap with my index finger, it would be a little bit messy because I would have to reposition. But if I would use my middle finger like this, my fingers are never gonna lose the position that they're in, and that is what you want. Okay, so let's take this strumming pattern as an example. Down, down, up, down, up. So we're gonna insert the tap after the 2 downstrokes in the beginning. So it's gonna be down, down, tap with middle finger, up, down, up. And if you would speed it up, it would sound like this. And now let's add some chords. Alright, so for tip number 7 to get better at playing the guitar, we're gonna move on to the fretboard now, because I'll show you some cool techniques over there. Tip number 7 is gonna be all about playing hammer-ons. You can use hammer-ons to make your playing much more fluid, like this. So let me teach you how to do this. Okay, so the basic thing you need to know when you perform a hammer-on is you always need to hammer on right in front of the fret. So not too far in front of it, and also not like on top, because the note will sound very muffled then, but right in front of the fret. Because if I would do the hammer-on over here with my middle finger, I would have to press way harder to get the same sound, and that is definitely something you need to avoid. The 8th way to actually get better at playing the guitar is going to be all about pull-offs. In short, pull-offs are like the opposite of a hammer-on, because you play 2 notes, but instead of going forwards like this, you go backwards like this. With the pull-off, you're actually going to replicate this movement, but then over here. So your finger actually makes a downwards movement. It doesn't go like a reverse hammer-on like that, but it goes downwards like that. So let me show you in a little bit more detail how you can do a pull-off. Okay, so I just said it before, but with the pull-off, you're gonna replicate this motion, but then over here. And it's important to know that you're not doing a pull-off like this, by lifting your middle finger off, but to pull it downwards, thus replicating the movement. So it's gonna be down like that. Tip number 9 to get better at playing the guitar instantly is by incorporating slides into your playing. Slides are very interesting because they're different from hammer-ons and from pull-offs, and you can do a long slide like this. And with hammer-ons and pull-offs, you're kind of limited to 4 or 5 frets like that. You can't really make them super long, and with slides you can. So let me show you how to slide on the guitar. Okay, so for the slide, it's so important that you're going to be right in front of the fret of the note that you're leaving from, and that you're going to be right in front of the fret of the note that you're arriving at, because this will definitely enhance your tone. Okay, so start off with a short slide like this. So I'm just going to do 2nd and 3rd fret of the high E string. And once you got the hang of this slow slide, then you can make them longer like this. So instead of going from 2 to 3, you go from 2 to 4. And then from 2 to 5. Like that. And my 10th and final tip to make your guitar playing sound even better is by adding a vibrato to your playing. Because if I take a note like this, it sounds flat. But if I use a vibrato, you can already hear like the extra emotion and depth. So let me teach you how to do a vibrato on the guitar. Okay, so if you want to add a vibrato to your guitar notes, you have to make sure that you're wobbling your finger either from left to right or from top to bottom. It creates a little bit of a different type of wobble and a different type of sound. So don't let the note ring out like this, but do this or this. The more you move your finger, the bigger the wobble sound will be, but don't make your movements too big because this will hinder your playing. So now you know how to actually get good at playing the guitar, but did you know that I have a lot more guitar tutorials to help you improve even more? If you want to stick around, please make sure to watch the video on my channel, and with that being said, I hope to see you soon in the next video.